Okay, guys, so I received a lot of comments, a lot of inboxes, and messages about doing a larger than Matt video. So I'm going to try it. This is my first one. I will warn you guys, I have a 4-year-old little girl, or sorry, 4-year-old little boy and a 2-year-old little girl. They will probably be in and out of here making noise. And I can't really do it when they're sleeping because I like to sleep when they're sleeping. But anyway, so I did the Mario that a lot of you guys saw in the post. Hopefully you can see it. I'm zoomed in a little bit, but hopefully you guys can see it. And so today we're going to be doing Luigi. I actually made 2 of the Marios, and I'm going to do 2 of the Luigis. I probably won't cut everything out because I do have to put my kids to bed, but I'm going to show you how I did it though. So to start out, I'm going to bring Luigi onto my mat here. So I already have the image in here. I'm just going to bring it in. All right, so then I'm going to make my mat a little bit smaller so I can actually see what I'm working with. So with Mario, I did him 22 by 22 inches, and that kind of worked out because he's already kind of like a chunky, like a hefty character. Luigi is taller and a little bit more thin, so I think I want him to be a little bit taller and maybe not so wide, but I do want to give it some width because his hand is out here and it will include that in the dimensions. So I think for width, I'm going to stick with the 22 to kind of account for his hand. And then for the height, I think I'm going to do 28. So the first thing I'm going to do, I already have the image selected. I'm going to unlock it here. And then for width, I'm going to make it 22. And then for height, I'm going to make it 28. And I actually think I'm going to do 30. Okay, so I'm going to do 22 by 30. Yeah, I think I'm going to do by 30. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is select my image. I'm going to duplicate it. And when I duplicate it, I'm actually going to take the second one that I made, and I'm going to weld it. When you weld it, it'll turn like a color, yellow, gray, black, something. So in this case, it turned yellow. I'm just going to make it black because that's the color that I want my trim to be, or my shadow to be. So I'm going to make that and move it out of my way. I'm pretty much done with that one until a little bit later when we talk about slicing. So I'm going to leave that one there for now. So then this one, I'm going to select it and I'm going to ungroup the pieces so I can start dissecting it. So I'm actually going to take this. We don't need this one anymore. It actually would be great for like a coloring book or something like that. But for our purposes today, we don't need it. So I'm just going to delete it. All right, so then what I normally like to do is start moving pieces. And then as I work through them, I like to bring them to the bottom. So his face is 11.5 by 11.5 by 8.2. Yeah. So this will fit on a 12 by 12. Normally I like to work with 12 by 12 sheets of paper. So this will fit on a 12 by 12. If for some reason it didn't, we can probably slice it like between his eyes to make it like a good spot, or maybe there's a couple different ways you can do it. I probably would do it between his eyes or something like that to make it fit. But in this case, I have 12 by 12. I don't need to slice it. So that one's good. So the next, I'm just kind of going to work my way up. So we have his shoes, the top part of his shoe and the bottom part of his shoe. Now, as you can see, these 2 pieces, this one is 14.5 inches and this one is 12.5 or 13.5. So this actually would not fit on a 12 by 12. So what I'm going to do is actually contour it so that I can make it fit. So to do that, I'm just going to duplicate it. And so now I have 2 sets of the shoes. I'm going to keep this image selected, hit contour at the very far bottom right. And then I'm going to contour out his right shoe on that one. And then I'm going to select the other copy. And then I'm going to contour out his left shoe on that one. So now I still have a left shoe. I still have a right shoe. They're just separated so I can make them fit on 12 by 12s, or even if I have to fit like multiple 12 by 12s. So for the bottom part of the shoe, same sort of thing. I'm gonna duplicate it, contour. So for this one, I'm gonna contour out the left shoe. And then this one, I will contour out the right shoe. Like that. So now I have a right and a left. So this fits where I want it to go. So then the pants are 10.9 by 14.4. So the height of it is too high for 12 by 12. So normally I don't like to split outfits, but with this outfit, it actually works out perfectly because these straps give it some height and they're clean cut. So see how it's kind of white here? It's gonna cut clean anyway. It's gonna be a separate piece anyway. So I'm actually gonna contour that to make it smaller. So I'm gonna duplicate it. Now I have two. I'm gonna contour out the straps on this one. Don't forget that hole there. You don't want it to cut that. So I'm gonna contour out the straps. So now you see a pair of pants without the straps. And then I'm gonna contour everything except the straps on that. So if I lay it, I'll lay it so you guys can kind of see. So same pants, exact same thing. I'm just contouring it so that it can fit. So now the pants are 12 by 24, and then 10.96. So the 12.24 actually still would not fit on a 12 by 12. But the good thing is, what I can probably do is just set it up so that it'll be continuous, and it might just break up like right here. So it'll still work out. So I'm not too worried about it. So this piece is done. So then I'm gonna move to the buttons. So the buttons actually would cut, So the buttons actually would cut on a 12 by 12, but what I noticed when I did the Mario is that there's a huge bit of space here and it wastes quite a bit of paper. So I'm actually just gonna duplicate and contour again, just for the sake of A, showing you, and B, saving paper. So I'm gonna contour out this button, which I think is it's the left button. Okay, there we go. Okay, so is that this piece? Okay. All right, so I'm gonna contour out that button. So, and then I'm gonna contour out this other button. So this time I'm gonna do the right button. So if we just slide this over here, we can contour that button. Okay, so now we have one button and then the other. The way I normally look for, especially for this character, is there's one button that's like super round, perfectly round, and one that's oval. So we have one oval and one circle, so we did that part right. So then for his shirt, if you look at this, this would cut on, so it's 14 by 14 inches wide. So we would need like 2 sheets of paper for this, which is pointless for these 3 little pieces of a shirt. So what I'm actually gonna do is contour this. So I'm actually gonna contour it 3 times. So you'll see there's 3 sets of the shirt. Hopefully I'm not confusing you guys. I'm gonna take the first one here. I'm gonna contour out this left. I'm gonna keep everything except for the left piece. So I'm gonna contour these 2 out and close. So now I have that one piece, right? So I'm gonna take the second set and I'm gonna contour everything except for this middle piece. I'm gonna take this right piece out and this left piece out and save the rest. So now I have that. So then this one, I'm gonna contour again. I already have one with the left piece. I already have one with this piece. So now I need one with this piece. I'm gonna keep this piece. I'm gonna contour out the middle and contour out the left. So now I have the same 3 pieces, but they will fit on a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So this is perfect. I can move it out of my way. So the other pieces that are green are the hat. So the hat, typically, I wouldn't want to contour a hat if I didn't need to, but as you can see, this is 12.36 inches, so it just kind of misses being able to go on a 12 by 12. And if you can see underneath the L for Luigi, this cap part here actually is a clean cut. So it's gonna get cut apart anyway. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm going to contour that also. So I'm gonna duplicate the hat. And then I'm gonna contour out the brim. So I'm gonna contour like that and leave the rest. And then I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna contour the L and the top. Sometimes this, if you click here, it doesn't do the part you wanna do, so just make sure you're paying attention. So I'm gonna contour that piece. So now I still have the same hat. It's just in two pieces where now the pieces will fit on a 12 by 12. So this is now 9.6 by 6.99, so it's perfect. So I'm gonna move these out of my way. So basically everything is still, I'm just kind of lining everything up here the way it needs to go. And I just do it by color, not for any reason other than I think I have OCD a little bit. So down here is brown, and it is not very tall, 5 inches high by 2 inches. I'm gonna leave it, but if you wanted to save more paper, you actually could contour it. I'm probably not going to because it's just gonna go on the paper with the shoes, and I think it'll be fine. So I'm not gonna do anything with that as far as contouring. So for I'm gonna move the hands for a second. For the mouth, that is fine. For the eyes, that is fine. This is part of the hat, this L right here, so that's fine. For purposes of his eyes, this lighter blue is fine, but if they were together or you're trying to use scrap paper or something, you could contour them, but they're not together. They're actually separate and they're very small. So then, last but not least, are his hands. So you guys know what I'm gonna say. A lot of space in between, a lot of wasted paper. So I'm gonna contour. I'm gonna duplicate his hands. And for the sake of just making sure that you guys can see, I'm just gonna turn his hands a different color temporarily. If it will let me. All right, scratch that. I guess I'm not. But anyway, I thought there was a way for me to do it. Okay, maybe not. But anyway, so there's two sets of hands. I'm gonna contour here. I'm gonna keep the right hand for this one, and I'm gonna contour out the left hand, and just make sure you get all these little pieces. See how it has the holes in the gloves? If you don't get that, it'll cut that and it'll still waste your paper anyway. So just make sure you get all the little pieces. And then when in doubt, sometimes I'll just look through here and just make sure everything looks the way I want it. Or if you click it, it'll disappear and it'll kind of give you an idea of where it is, and just make sure you got all the holes and the little pieces and all that jazz. So that one looks good. All right, so now I have the right hand. So then I'm gonna select this duplicate and I'm gonna contour out the right hand this time. And I'm gonna keep the left hand. It's my left, might not be your left. Okay, so now we have the two hands, we have the two eyes, we have the blue part of the iris of the eyes, we have his mouth, we have his hat and all his shirt and his pants, and we have everything. So then the last step before you cut is gonna be slicing. I'm just gonna move this so I have space. I don't want it to accidentally slice something that I need. So I'm just gonna move it out the way a little bit. All right, so this is how I do that. So to start, what I'm actually gonna do is, let me just move this up so you guys can see. All right, so to start, what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna click over to my left here where it says shapes. I'm gonna grab a square And so when I'm cutting out the shadow, I actually use my 12 by 24 mat. And so with the 12 by 24 mat, the largest you can cut out is 11.5 by 23.5. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do 11.5 by 23.5. So I'm just gonna click my image here. I'm gonna unlock it. And then I'm gonna do, for width, I'm gonna do 11.5, so 11.5 by 23.5. All right. All right, so I have my 11.5 mat to 23.5-inch mat. All right, so as you can see, this doesn't cover them all up, right? So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate, and I'll probably need 3, but for now I'll just kind of show you, and then I'm definitely gonna need a third one for his feet. So what you wanna do is you're actually gonna lay, and for the purposes of showing you something, this is just how I do it as a beginner. So for purposes of slicing, what I normally like to do is put it over top. So you want it to cover everything that you need to have sliced. I try to bring it down as low as I can. And we don't want to bring it down too low because I see some of his hat peeking out there. So we want them to be as close as we can get them without them overlapping. So I normally just keep, you can see the white space here. So I normally just keep closing until I don't see any white space. And as you can see, I can still see some of the black shadow through. So I'm gonna bring them a little bit closer. All right, so that looks good. So then as you can see, I still have his feet kind of peeking out. Actually don't need to slice his feet. When I slice the other two parts, this part should be okay. If it's not, I'll slice it. But I did slice Mario's whole body. I actually needed 2 because he wasn't as tall, but I think the feet should be okay. So what I want to do at that point is select both images, both shapes, and then I'm going to right click and hit move to back. So then to slice, you actually have to have two things selected. So in this case, I'm going to click on the left square, if it will let me. And okay, I'm gonna click on the right square, and then I'm gonna click on Luigi also. So I just do Control click, and then once you have 2 selected, then the slice option will appear. So I'm just gonna hit slice. So once you slice it, I'm just gonna remove the pieces I don't need. I do need this black piece, so I'm gonna save that. I don't need, crap, I didn't mean to move that. Okay, so I don't need this piece here, so I'm gonna delete that, and then I don't need this piece here, so I'm gonna delete that. So then I have my other piece here, and then I have Luigi, so I'm gonna click on Luigi, and I'm gonna click on my piece here. For some reason, this does not wanna cooperate with me. All right, so maybe I'll just do it like this. I'll just select it like that. There we go. All right, so that just was my way of tricking this into grabbing my square and Luigi. For some reason, it was not trying to let me do both. So I'm just gonna slice it again. So I'm gonna move this piece. So this is just the other side of them. As you can see when you put it together. And it looks perfect. That's how it's supposed to look. And once we line it up, we can make it, you know, how it's supposed to be. But basically that's the image, but sliced into 2 pieces. So then I'm gonna remove this and this. I don't need either one of those, so I'm just gonna take those out. And let's see what the feet did. Yeah, and the feet automatically sliced, great. So now we're good with that. So then this piece is 23, just under 23.3. And then this piece is just under 23 also, so that will be perfect. So basically from here, what I would do is click on make it. And as you can see, I'm using 12 by 12 paper. So this is just letting me know one of my images is larger than 11.5, which I already knew. That's, I think that's the black shadows. So I'm just gonna hit okay. And then, as you can see, the hands, the eyes fit on a 12 by 12. So I'm good with that. My second mat is, so this is my larger mat where I use the 12 by 24. It's the right side of his body. Then my next mat is the left side of his body. And then the fourth mat is his feet. They just moved it to make it, you know, fit or whatever. I really don't even need I don't think I even need oh, I do. So for this one, I would actually need a 12 by 24 mat too, because his feet are like 15 inches, a little over 15 inches. So then my fifth mat is the left and right shoe and some of his facial hair. And then my sixth mat is his face. My seventh mat is the bottom of his shoe. It's a little bit of a different color. That's why it shows up on a different mat. I actually do have this color, so I'll leave it on there for the sake of not making it more complicated. The yellow is his buttons. And then you have his the pieces of his hat. And then a piece of his shirt, it looks like. And I actually I wonder if I probably could make that fit on this other paper. I think I can. So I'm actually gonna take this, and then if you if you scroll up a little bit and you click on these three dots, you can select Move Object. And then I'm gonna actually move it to this one and see if I can fit it on a sheet of paper. If I can't, I can put it back, but I really think that I can manipulate it and get it to fit. So I think if I move this up a little, and then I move this up a little, yeah, I definitely can get that to fit. So this is kind of the purpose of some of that slicing that I did, where you can kind of manipulate pieces to get them to fit on one sheet of paper. I know some people do it based on where it is. I'm not that good where I can be like, oh, it's a half inch this way or this way. I don't know how to do all that yet. But anyway, I do know how to contour and all that stuff. So I make it work for me, right? All right, so I'm gonna move this object. Also, I'm gonna put it on with everything else. Scroll down and hit confirm. And then this piece, let's see, okay, it doesn't fit there. So I'm just gonna scroll down a little bit and I can get it to fit. So you just want it to be within these lines down around here. That's telling you your cutting space. So I can probably slide this to the right a little, and I've got everything in there with no problem. So I've got that. So that's my 9th mat with all the green pieces. My 10th mat is now empty. So once I go to make it, that 10th mat actually won't print because I fit everything on one piece of paper. This small amount of blue is actually just for the irises. I contemplated making it the same color as the pants, but it actually looks really nice with a different blue. So I'm just gonna leave it. This is the top of the pants. I don't know why it selected a 12 by 24 for that, but I definitely could fit it on a 12 by 12. Anyway, so the pants, this is, I'll use my 12 by 24 mat for that for sure. And then this is a small piece, which is literally just his mouth. So that would be the mouthpiece. And that's really it. So at that point, I would hit continue. And then it's going to ask you to select your maker. And then you'll just cut it out from there. So I'll just cut the video here. You guys have heard enough of me talking. But that's basically how I did my larger than Matt character. And then from there, you just cut out, you know, your black piece is gonna cut out your shadow, tape that together. I actually got some of this crafter's tape here, if you guys can see it. This is what I'll be using. And I'll do it that way. And then just the one thing I learned from this from last time is regarding the back, definitely tape the black side. So this part for Mario, this shadow side, the black side, tape it from the back. I tape mine from the front, you can kind of see it. So I would tape it from the back this way. And then put your pieces on top and tape those on, or tacky glue, whatever you're gonna do, but don't tape it from the front. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, send them to my inbox. I'd be happy to help. I'm still a beginner, so I don't know everything. I don't claim to know the best ways or anything like that, but that's the way I did it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good day.